We are going to explain the mark-to-market mechanism, and we go to chapter 8, and this one is slide number 11, and we are going to explain daily settlement with treasury bond futures. And treasury bond futures are mentioned in 30 seconds, 1 over 30 seconds, 2 over 30 seconds, or 25 over 30 seconds. And we see these are called tick movements, so minimum fluctuation is 1 over 30 seconds. So let us go to table 8.1. When we go to table 8.1, you can see this here. And if we will explain it to you, let me zoom it a little bit more. And so if you go in here, it says that you shorted Treasury bond futures on Friday, August 1st at 116.2732. So how did they get 116,843.75? To answer that question, I created an Excel file. You see, this is 27 by 32, means the tick size movement that went was 0.84375. You multiply it by the contract size of the Treasury bond futures, 100,000, you get the tick value of 8,437.5. So the price quote was 116.2732. We have it here, and the value comes out to be 116.843.75. So this is our beginning point. Now, shorting a futures means that you are betting against it. So when it goes down, it benefits you. So in order to initiate this position, you had to deposit $5,940, which is called initial margin. And maintenance margin, the minimum that you have to have is $4,400. If the initial margin goes down to $4,400, you have to fill it up to $5,940. So let's look at the first day. And in that day, we see it became 116.1332, which is in here. I showed in here 116.1332. And when you calculate this, it becomes 116,406.25. So these two number, 116,843.75, and the difference, because you are on the short side, difference is 437.50, which is you already have a margin of 5,940. Together they make 6,377.50. Explanation is given, which is pretty good in here. And so we see that our current account balance is $6,377.50. Then it went up. Going up on a short side is a bad news. So you figure this out, 116.2532, and that becomes 116,781. So you see these two difference in here is going to affect you in a negative way. So you lost, the difference between those two is 375, and you subtract from 6,377.50, it becomes 6,002.50. And then you have an explanation in here. So after that, it becomes 115.18.5 over 30 seconds. So it is a little tricky in here. Again, I explained that is 115.18.532 becomes 115.578.125 because you divide 18.532 and then you have 115 together, they make this. So you have now 115,578.125, which is again the difference between these two numbers, or difference between these two numbers are in your favor because it is going down. So you have $1,203.13. Add to 6,250, you get 7,205. And then again, next time around it goes down again and down again. You see here 115.07, you get 115 to 18.75, and that number will be added to 7205.63, you get 756,500. And then there is a big movement upside, so it is against you, and that is the last thing that I showed in here. And so it's 116,156.25. You lost between these two is 937.50. Add to this number is a negative number, add to this, and then you get 6627.50. So you go ahead and do the rest of them and find out. And one thing that I wanted to mention to you, when you go through this mark to market, and every day either it's a plus or a minus, and sometimes it is unchanged. So when you add these numbers, you should get the same number in here, like when you get to this, let's say here, add these numbers and say that ultimately how much you gained or lost to this. So the way to do is that you start with this number and then you subtract from the one that you have here. You'll figure out that this account balance should be exactly the same. So prove it to yourself. And if you have any question, let me know. Thanks.